Good morning and welcome to Faith Friday with Coach Ellis. Hey, this is the day I spend just a few minutes talking to you about matters of faith, particularly from the book of life. And so today, for the last several weeks, we've been dealing with this idea, this series called the Seven Universal Principles of Success, or as I like to call them, 7-Ups. As some of you may remember, this is a devotion that I heard when I was in high school, 16 and 17 years old, which has become a foundational place for sermons and books and speeches, things in my life, because those 7 principles I have seen over and over again resonate in my life and the life of others. So just to recap, we talked about the first up was wake up. That's when you begin to recognize what's going on in your surroundings. You're waking up from a deep sleep, and the shadow now takes form. You're able to see. Your eyes are now open. You're able to see and recognize. Your ears, while they never close, you begin to recognize what's going on around you. Wake up. The next thing you do, you get up. That's when you put your feet on the ground. You begin to interact with the world in which you have now become aware is around you. The next thing is wise up. That's when I'll make sure I got it up. So it's wise up, and that's when we begin to think about the things that go on around. It's not so much just to know it's there, wake up, to interact with it, get up, but now we begin to think about the things that are going on in the places we can't see. We're becoming wise. We are seeing the surrounding. We're seeing the implications, what's going on. Last week we talked about fill up, and that really is about allowing, if wising up is seeing what's going around us, filling up is getting God's perspective on what is going on in our environment. And today I want to talk about speak up. I thought it was pretty interesting that the text in Ephesians chapter 5, beginning in verse 14 to 21, talks about it in this order. Why do you speak up after you have filled up? Why do you fill up after you have wised up? The idea is that you should be slow to speak. You should know some things first, okay? And then you should understand God's perspective before you begin to speak. But when you speak, you should speak up. This is the point, that the power of life and death is in the tongue. We speak up and we speak life into the dead situation, just like like Ezekiel did in the valley of dry bones. He spoke and they became a living army. We speak to the dead situations we find ourselves in. Somebody said, well, Coach, how does that really work? In our own lives, we're broken. And many of us have self-esteem issues. So I want to share just a little bit about how this works. Why do we speak positive affirmations out loud? We speak them to put that affirmation, that positiveness into the atmosphere. What happens when other people hear it? Subconsciously, they begin to rally around what they have heard. That's why when people get excited, other people get excited. When people get depressed or bored, other people get depressed or bored, because what you put into the atmosphere, other people subconsciously try to match that vibration and feed into that. That's why you must speak positive things. The second reason is that there is a cycle of information that goes on in your life. We speak positive things into the air, it gets into our own ears. What goes into our ears gets down into our heart. The Bible says what's in our heart will come out of our mouth. Therefore, what's in our heart will come out. We speak positive things, we hear positive things. We hear positive things, we get positive things into our heart. From our heart, we speak positive things. If we speak negative things, we hear negative things. Negative things get into our heart, and from our heart, out of the heart, the abundance of our heart, the mouth speaks. Negative things come out of our mouth. So it can either be a swirling vortex of vileness, or it can be a cylinder of excellence. You get to decide how that cycle works. And I submit to you that if we speak up with good things, speak up with positive things. In fact, the text says, speak to one another in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, singing, make music in your hearts. What it's really saying is, speak life into those dead places. Speak life when things are dreary. Speak positive when things go negative. If you are a negative person, try this. Speak life and see if your life doesn't change. If you are a realist, speak positive things and see if things don't change for you. If you are afraid of looking like a fool, speak positive, powerful messages, and watch how your life change. Out of your mouth to your ears, from ears to your heart, from your heart back out your mouth. And it begins to affect everything and everybody around you. Speak up, because the power of life and death is in your tongue. Hey, I'm Coach Ellis. Got questions or comments? Hit me down below. Catch me on Facebook at Coach Ellis Crum. Shoot me an email at coach@elliscrum.net. Until next Friday, have a one-tabulous Speaking Faith Speaking Up Friday. God bless you, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.